Warriors. Welcome to the Now Show, the show for overcomers and winners, where we take you on the journey to wholeness. I'm your host, Abosede Oza Osho. On today's episode, we're going to be talking parenting in the new age. And with me to discuss this, he's an expert in the field, my sister, my friend, Mrs. Charity Babatunde. Welcome, Charity, to the Now Show.
Thank you, Bosse. Thank you
Charity,
for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Charity is the managing partner, founder of Redefining. And one thing I can say about Charity is that she has a passion, a deep passion for families and building homes. Charity, welcome again.
Thank
to
you
the
so
Now
much,
Show.
Bosse. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Yes. So today's topic, I know you have this thing for parenting. And, we spoke and we said, let's talk about parenting in the new age, that things have changed. So, how have things changed, really?
I think the question should be, how have things not changed? And, when we spoke, it was just, for me, it was an opportunity to talk about the things that had been going on in my head.
Okay.
And the things that I had experienced talking to a lot of parents. A lot has changed. A lot has changed. Now, the reality is that a lot had changed prior to COVID. And one of the things that we were not quite prepared. So you see, when we talk about parenting, right, I always like to say that the experience of a Nigerian parent or an African parent is totally different from a parent from other continents. And that's
the Nigerian
parents, we have gotten a lot of jabs and a lot of, because of the way we parent. Our style is different. And one of the things that I had always spoken about quite a bit in the last few years was about parenting in the digital world.
Okay.
Because as parents, we had not yet fully grasped the implications of digitalization on the way we parent and we raise our children.
Wow.
We had not fully realized that, look, parenting had now left our hands and our children were now being parented by different things that were streaming to them.
Wow.
Via social media and via other non-traditional media and where they find themselves. So that had happened. We were still trying to come to terms with that. Parents were warming up to the idea and saying, okay, it's no longer a question of should my children use a device or should they not use device? Should they be on social media? And all of a sudden, boom, COVID came. Now, I recall that when COVID started, I think it was one of the people in World Health Organization who said that we were not just faced with a pandemic, we were faced with an infodemic. Because there was so much information, fake news about the virus, which is one of the things that as parents, we have responsibility to help our children filter through the information that is streaming in, to let them know what is true, what is not true, to let them know to be able to act as a buffer for things that can have an impact on their mental and emotional health. So we also got caught up in, they say Nigerian parents were constantly forwarding. Any message we forward.
The
thing is about 5G, we forward. The thing, go and drink coconut water and coconut oil, we forward. We're just forward. So we were not really helping the things. All those were changing. And somehow, and we're also very spiritual people or very religious people. We had thought that this COVID is a matter of 3 months. The thing will be over. And we're going strong over 12, 15, almost running to 15 months. So a lot has changed because some of the things that we had used to either gag our children or to help us wade through the unclear waters of parenting, they were no longer holding true. We couldn't sell those things to them. While we were still dealing with COVID and trying to come out, Sorosoke, NSARS came. And our children were saying, look, you are the cause of our problem. The older ones who would talk, you are the cause of our problems because you people did not speak up when you should have spoken up. And now you have left us with a nation that we don't even know what to do. They begin to trample on us. And some of us were still a bit afraid and saying, no, you can't talk. Oh, we don't want you to get into trouble. And our children are saying to us, If we don't talk, who's going to
Who's
talk?
going to talk?
What am I going to tell my children? All those are changes that are taking place. I remember this one sounds a bit hilarious, but I remember when the reality of 31st December, watch night, whether you cross over in church or you don't cross over in church came up. A number of young people that I relate with said, so you mean it's possible to actually cross over and not be in a church? That we thought something will happen.
They've said that you don't have to be in that
because
building.
we had made them feel that if you are not in church on 31st, your new year cannot go. So a lot of things have changed. What that means is we need to have a stronger foundation for raising our children. What do I mean by that? Yes, we jokingly say that none of us got a manual about parenting, but how deliberate and how intentional have we been about parenting? How much have we gone to do the research? Now, that's one. Let's pack that argument one side. The next thing is, I tell my children, so I have two lovely young adults. When I say lovely, I mean lovely in every sense of the word. They have stressed me, but they have also loved me. And we have loved ourselves, and we have found a balance, you know. And
you always come back to finding the balance.
We have to find, we just have to find a balance.
That's
I say to them that, look, parents are human beings too. And they tend to forget that we're human beings. We're human beings with feelings. A number of us, Boss, have lost people that are very close to us by virtue of whether it's COVID or underlying medical conditions that they have. A number, we're still struggling with that. I don't know about you, but when my children go out on a daily basis, while I'm a woman of faith, right, my heart still shakes because I'm wondering, when are they going to come back? Are they staying safe? Are they keeping safe? I hope nobody's harassing them on the road. I hope the law enforcement agents are not harassing them. I hope they're not being exposed to different things. So a lot is happening. I'm grappling with that. When they come and talk about mental health, we have our own, everybody has mental health.
Has issues.
It's just whether how balanced your mental health is. And the truth of the matter is you have some of those things staring you in the face. So how do you manage all that and still raise your children? Knowing that you're not in control. We deceived ourselves into thinking that, okay, we can predict when they go to school, what course they study, when they graduate, what they will do after they graduate.
No, all that is gone.
All that we've realized that it's not working. It's not working. We really are not in control. What are we even in control about? Those are the things we need to think about as parents and begin to deliberately do something about them. We need to begin to have some of those conversations that are the difficult conversations that we do not like to talk about. One of those conversations is death. We feel, you say, God forbid, it's not your portion. It is the reality is that the reality of life is death. The moment somebody comes to this world, the person can die. Guess what? COVID has made us realize that you can die at whatever age.
That's right.
Our prayer is that it is later than sooner.
That's right.
What are we doing about it? Are we having those conversations? So when we talk about parenting in a changing world, we're beginning to realize that death is not that thing that is far away. It's something that is close home. Does it mean we should be afraid? No. But it means that there are things we can do.
One problem that I see now is the attention span of the children, or let me say how much they can withstand stress or something, because they seem to be any little thing, they go off now. And for us as parents, I see, where we also say to ourselves, oh, we don't want our children to get it the way we got it. We try to shield them. We try to say that, oh, the hardship that we had to go through, our children don't have to go through it. So they're kind of pampered. So because they're pampered, some of them, can't deal with what they call stress, which you as a parent, you're looking at as, up to the extent that you find some children actually giving up. Charity, you and I know that a number of people that we know, they've had the misfortune of their children actually committing suicide.
True.
I mean,
Sadly true.
It's so sad, it's so heartbreaking, it's so tragic for any parent to deal with. So how do you deal with young adults of nowadays who can't deal with stress or what they consider stress and we parents don't consider stress? How do you navigate the waters for them? How do you help?
It's a tricky one, I'll be honest with you.
Yes.
It's tricky because, you see, I think the starting point was where some of us made the mistake of saying we don't want them to suffer what we suffered.
We suffered.
And the question is, what really did we suffer? Yes, when I was growing up, my mom raised us because my dad died when I was 14. My mom was really young and I'm the first. So she raised us as a single mother. And honestly, I was convinced that she was not my mother.
Many of us did.
The way she raised me, I was convinced. But guess what? I look 30-something years, 40-something years later, and I'm eternally grateful for some of the things that she instilled in me. Now, we found ourselves caught in between. So let me backtrack a bit. Something just crossed my mind. I had a conversation with a parent who wanted to correct her teenage child, and her main concern was, Mrs. Babatunde, I don't want my child to hate me. And I don't know how far I should go in correcting this child. We need to ask ourselves, was it that we were afraid that our children would look at us the way we looked at our parents? Was it that we wanted them to be our friends so badly that we were ready to close our eyes to certain things?
I think that's the issue.
We
wanted them to be our friends so badly. I think you're right there.
We were ready to close our eyes to certain things because we couldn't stand the pain of this, my child, not being my friend. Now, the truth of the matter is that it's again a tricky balance because now more than ever in this changing world, we need our children to see us as friends and as parents. We need to be able to juggle that hat because that's the only way they can come and talk to us about some of the things that they're really facing. Now, where you have sheltered them so much, you've sheltered them so much, and all of a sudden you're saying, I want you to go off and be independent and be resilient and bounce back and be strong. It's a bit difficult. It's a bit difficult for them. So empathy has to come in. But the truth of the matter is that it gets to a stage where you as a parent realize that I'm a human being. If I need my sanity, and I need to keep myself balanced. Therefore, I need to have some difficult conversations with my children. If you're struggling as a parent because you are burnt out from parenting and your children are old enough, you need to know when to cut, take a break, reboot, re-energize, because you cannot give your children what you don't have. And if you keep struggling, what they're going to see is one stressed out mother. And guess what? Our children are fantastic at imitating us. Sometimes I hear my mother come out of my mouth when I talk to them, and I hear and I think, oh gosh, this is my mom that is talking. This was what I didn't want to be. But so we need, those are some of the areas that we also need to.
Something struck me when you spoke about how we crave to be so much of our children's friends that sometimes we overdo it. Because I was having a conversation recently with somebody who had been through an experience with will I say, a young adult daughter, and everything like that. And of course, where she thought, oh, they were friends and things like that. Maybe she had taken it too far, and all. Of course, an African mother, a Nigerian mother, then for some time, the daughter, this particular daughter was being rude to her and everything like that. She felt, she tried to correct her for some days and everything like that. So one day she just felt, what's wrong with you? And hit her and everything like that. How we said it in those days that, to make them reset, to make their brains reset and everything like that. And she hit her mother back.
Oh, wow.
And the shock, the mother was so shocked and everything. And would you believe that she said that the child pushed her to the ground, hit her and everything like that. And a few days later, even had the audacity to call the police on her.
Oh, wow.
They were in the UK at that time.
Wow.
Yes, called the police on her in the middle of COVID.
Oh, wow.
The mother. So how do you deal with that kind of situation?
Wow. That's you see, okay, so let me come back.
You need to excel and tell me.
So
as
to be very,
as a parent,
I'll be very
and that's
honest.
parenting in the new age, because that's something that we couldn't have dreamt of doing.
We could not have dreamt that
would happen.
But you know what, Bosse?
Yes.
The truth of the matter, I say to my children that my every day, every single day, I make the choice to love you. It's not natural. There's nothing that is flowing in my brain, that
Yes.
in my vein, that says love, 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 love. You just press it. It is a choice that I make on a daily basis, because our children will give us many reasons not to love them. So it's a choice.
So it's a choice
It
to
is
love.
a choice. It is a choice. You wake up today and you say, in spite of what this person has done, that person has done, I'm going to love you.
Okay.
Now, loving you does not mean I will not correct you. Loving you does not mean I will not do what I feel needs to be done.
Yes.
That is in the best interest of your future. You see, there's what they call tough love. And it's important that we know when to activate that tough love for various
love.
reasons. But guess what?
I'm liking the sound of
Guess
that.
what? We also have to be the bigger person. So as parents, one of my strategies is stooping to conquer.
Okay.
There are certain situations where I would advise. So if I was counseling
Yes,
this woman,
yes.
what I would say is, you need to stoop to conquer.
Okay.
It's tough. You would look at that child and wonder, after everything I've done for
that
you,
I've done,
after every sacrifice, what have I asked you to do? What is it? Or what are we talking about? How did we get to this stage where you are being disrespectful?
That's right.
Now, don't forget that we're talking about things that have changed. So in a Sorosoke generation, the way they look at it is, look, anything that is impacting on me, it's about me, 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 me. Anything that's making me feel uncomfortable, anything that's making me feel violated in one way or the other, I have to react. We need to let them know that that's not it.
It's not a me situation.
It is not. And that is where the reinforcement of values come in.
Okay.
What values are we reinforcing in our children? It may require for us to reinforce at certain stages. And I'm sure you know that raising a child, parenting a child that is a young adult is more difficult than parenting a child.
Tell me about it.
Because some of their ideas, their ideologies, the way they view life is already there.
Yes.
But again, with COVID, with the lockdown, with everything, we're in each other's space. So why did the child react like that? Have there been signs that were being ignored? Those are some of the questions that I would first ask myself. Was there something I didn't see? Did my child really have that in him or her to do that? Why? Okay, what can I do about it? In no unmistakable terms, I would let the child know that it is not acceptable. It is not acceptable for that to be done. But I would also want to deal with the issues. Why? Because remember, I tell people, you're not just raising your daughter or your son. You're raising somebody's mother.
That's right.
Somebody's father. Somebody's wife. Or somebody's husband. What if one day my son's wife calls me and says the son beats? How would I handle it? Because we hear of all these cases of domestic abuse. Or my daughter poured boiling oil. On how would I deal with it?
Which was what the mother had an issue with. That, I mean, you can't go out and do this because what if, I mean, for your mother-in-law in future speaks to you, are you going to,
Is that how you're going to
do
react?
that and everything like that?
Absolutely.
If there are issues, they needed to talk, and the girl said there was nothing to talk about. So how do you deal with that kind of person?
You see, so that's where the parenting, there are certain things that are sacrificial.
Those are things that parents are dealing with, and they're like,
so
help
that's
me. I need help. This modern age, I don't know how to do this.
So you know what, Bosse? That's why I say even parents too have mental health issues that they're dealing with. You sit back in your quiet moments, and you're lucky that the mother even could talk to you. Many people they would not want to talk about it. Because they would feel, oh, this is a failure on my part.
That's right.
Now, the truth of the matter is that yes, as a parent, we may have missed certain things. But by the time your child gets to young adult stage, you are no longer responsible for the choices that they make. The truth of the matter is that
Charity, pause. I need you to come again on that.
So what I said
by
was,
the time
by the time your children get to young adult stage,
yes,
you are no longer responsible for the choices they make. The truth of the matter, Bosse, is that even before they get to that stage, as they grow, we're not responsible for the choices that they make. We have deceived ourselves into thinking that we're responsible for the choices that they make. But let's look at it, because I know even from the perspective of the good book, it says, I said before you life and death, choose. We have set it before our children.
Yes.
This is the way we've raised you. Choose. We hope that they will choose life.
Yes.
We hope that they will choose sound values.
Yes.
We hope that they will make right choices. But the truth of the matter is they don't. Because we, as parents, also have not dealt with our issues and our baggage of when we were growing up and when we thought our parents were witches and wizards and the most wicked people. We carried that baggage. We're struggling with esteem issues. So we blame ourselves. I'm the one. It is my fault. I'm the reason why they are doing this.
Yes.
I'm the reason.
Yes.
It's normal. It's not normal. It is not unheard of for that to happen.
Yes.
It happens a lot. But we also need to sit back and realize that there are a lot of things that are beyond our control.
A lot of things
beyond that are beyond our control.
Wow.
However, one thing that I know that never fails when
Yes.
it comes to parenting is love. And once you remember that love is not a feeling that you feel that you've never felt before.
How do you
But
love
it
a
is
child
a
who doesn't want to be
choice.
loved? How do you love a child who does not want to be loved?
But guess
You
what?
know, so I think
but guess what, boss?
that is one thing
That
that I need
child
you. Yes.
that you think does not want to be loved is the child that is crying for love the most.
Wow.
That child is the child that is craving for love the most. There is something, and we just need to get it. We need to. There is a way that you will get to the core of what it is. That child is the child who is craving for love the most. They express it in different ways.
Okay.
When a young child is looking for attention, they do all manner of things. They can throw the bottle, throw the cup, scatter the whole place, so that you say, "And what is wrong with you?" They've gotten attention. It may not be the right way to get the attention, but they've gotten the attention. That child, and therefore, as a parent, as parents, we have no choice. We just have to rise up to the occasion and actually find out what is it? What is this child crying for? It may be frustration. Staying in the same vicinity, we were in each other's faces.
Yeah.
And some of us parents, we really did not understand the concept of remote work.
Okay.
So they are working and we're shouting, come and do this for me. And they say, but the fact that I'm in my house with you does not mean that I'm not working. I have a daughter who, she says, Mom, I'm on a call. Immediately I understand, okay, you're on a call. Let me soft pedal. I know that there's a time to call. There's a time to ask to do this. There's a time to ask to do that. So we need, it's difficult.
Yes.
Especially when as a parent, you have given everything.
Okay.
You have been very sacrificial.
Yes.
It's difficult, but those are some of the changes that are happening.
Okay. I hear you say there's a time to do this, there's a time to do that. So how do you marry or how do you walk that time into becoming the new age parent and dealing with these issues?
You have to be present. You have to be present and intentional in your parenting.
Okay.
You have to get to know your child as an individual. You have to stare their ugliness in character and say, okay, what do we do about this?
Okay.
You have to also get to a place where the child understands that I have a challenge with this. This is a problem. It may not look like a problem to me, but it will, perception, they say, is 100% reality.
Yeah.
It may be, if you're consistently perceived that way and it's a problem, the child may not want to hear, that's who I am, that's how I am, I'm this, I'm that. You continue to do what you can do. But when it gets to a stage where the child has decided there's nothing that I can do, you continue to love the child. Love the child the way you know how. Do things for the child. Still, as the opportunity presents itself, speak to the child. Make sure the child understands that, look, my love is never in question. Whenever you are ready to talk, I'm available to talk about it. But do not continue to aid and abet bad behavior.
Do not continue to aid and abet bad behavior. So, Charity, one thing I would ask you to do, what would be a few words for a parent who is going through the struggle of balancing the new age parenting, and for a young adult, especially who is, thinking, oh, my parents don't understand me, and is just lashing out.
So for the parent, what I would say is, one of the things that I've discovered that is exceedingly vital is you must find a way of getting, for want of a better word, refueled and re-energized. For me, that time that is very sacred is 4 a.m. That's when I detox and I get invigorated. Because it is tough.
Yes.
Being a parent is tough. Your mind has to be, you have to clear all the baggage. There are times you want to give up. So make sure that you're constantly getting yourself in a position where you're not. If you had somebody who was dealing with emotional issues, mental health issues, what would you tell the person? You would want to get to a place where you're distressed and where you're getting refueled, where you're getting the love that you can give that child. For me, as a woman of faith, it is in my time of prayer where I get fully re-energized. Now, for a child, what I would say to that child is, it is not natural for me to love you. It's a choice I make.
I don't know why I'm loving that statement. It is not natural for me to love you.
Because it is the truth. If it was natural, you would not hear of women throwing their babies away the moment they have birth, give birth to them. If it was natural, you would not hear about parents killing their children. It's a choice you make on a daily basis.
Especially when I've not even killed you.
It is a choice. It's a choice you make on a daily basis. It's a choice you make in advance. Come rain, come shine, I'm going to love you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Charity. You know, this is a heavy subject. And I know that we have not exhausted as much as we should have. So I'm sure that someday we will come back to this topic. Until then, my name, as usual, Abosede Oza Osho, signing out with Charity. Today.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Don't forget to like this video. And if you haven't, subscribe to the Now Show channel today and hit the notification bell so that you do not miss any video that is uploaded. Thank you for watching.